The first alignment is really our basic alignment. It's our 4-0-4. Again, we're talking to the defensive techniques here. We want our end to be in a 4 technique, which is head up on the tackle. Our nose stays in a 0 technique, which is head up on the center. And our end stays in a 4 technique, head up on the tackle. Now, if we were going to use our basic defensive alignments, we would be looking at the backfield. If we want to, though, we can come out in a 4-0-4 at any time and just tell our linemen to line up in a 4-0-4 regardless of what formation the offense comes out in. So we do have the ability to call in a huddle 4-0-4, which tells them no matter what, I'll line up as a tight end, or excuse me, I'll line up on the tackle, I'll line up on the center, and I'll line up on the tackle. That will be our 4-0-4 look. Another look that we can give without changing a whole lot for our team is we can go into a 3-1-5 look. Okay, this is a little bit of a difference. If you've seen the previous video on what they do with the offset backfield, we can still come out in a 3-1-5 at any time. So regardless of what the offense has given us, we can still call a 3-1-5, which tells our end to walk up into a 3, our nose in a 1 shade on the center, and our backside end in a 5. Puts Mike in our double zeros, which we've always been. But now we're going to get Buck involved, and we want to walk Buck up into a 5 as well. So we have the ability to call this at any time. It doesn't matter what formation they're in or what alignment they're in. If we call a 3-1-5, this is the look we want to show. Our lineman in a 3-1 and a 5, and our Buck moves up to account for that C gap. The next look we can give is a 5-1-3. Again, independent of what the offense is doing, we want to line up in a 5 technique, which is outside shade of the tackle, a 1 shade, and then we want to have a 3 shade to the backside. We want to bring our Buck up into a 5 technique. That way we're covering that C gap. Again, we're keeping all of our gap alignments taken care of. So independent of what the offense is doing, we can call a 5-1-3 at any time. How does the nose know which side to go to? We tell the nose that the 1 shade tells him always go with a 3. So he's always going to go to the lowest number. So if we do call a 5-1-3, we want to make sure that the 1 goes to the same side as the 3. And that's how we teach that to keep it simple for him. The next alignment that we give is called a 5-0-5. And why would we do this kind of alignment? We want to make sure that we have our ends on the outside. This would be something if we're expecting to bring a pressure perhaps, or maybe if we expect the team to run to the outside a lot, we want to make sure we have our ends on the outside and contain. So that's another adjustment we can make, calling this in the huddle, telling our D-line to line up in a 5-0-5, giving them 5, which is an outside shade of the tackle, and our 0 being head up on the center. All right, everything else stays the same for our defense as far as alignments go. 3-0-3 is another look we can give. Really like this one on a goal line type of situation. What we're going to do here was we're going to bring both of our ends into 3 techniques. We're going to keep our nose in a 0 technique, and now we've told both Buck and Wild we want you to walk up and play 5s. So this is a new look, just kind of a different change up that we can use and get into this 3-0-3 look at any time against any formation. So 3-0-3 call for us, we really like on the goal line. It's a nice little change up. Sometimes we're going to call this 3-0-3 as an alignment and then back out as we call it. So we may show this. We might call in the huddle, show 3-0-3, a line base or something like that, which means I want you to show this look, come up and look like we're blitzing and then back out of it and play your base. So there's a lot of things you can do with these techniques and these calls. Make them your own. Make it important to you and what you're going to do with your kids. So you'll see the 3-0-3 there. Buck and Wild are now up on the line of scrimmage. Everything else stays the same.